Okay, so today we're going to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So I'm going to start with adding. So x to the third plus x to the third. So when you add, you don't change the exponents. So I get 1x to the third plus 1x to the third is 2x to the third. But when I multiply, what do I get? X to the third times x to the third, you add the exponents. So I get x to the sixth. So for this one, when you're adding, we do not change the exponent. So I get 1ab squared plus 1ab squared is 2ab squared. How about the next one? 10b cubed minus 7b squared. Can I subtract those? Why not? Different exponents, so we cannot combine them. So we get 10b to the third minus 7b squared. But the next one, they're both squared. The squareds don't change. So 4x squared plus 3x squared is 7x squared. So what's the same on the next one? The 3a squared and this a squared. So 3a squared plus 1a squared is 4a squared plus 3ab. Can I do anything on the next one? Nope. So you get 2a squared c plus 5ab. So if the problem is addition, we're just going to combine like terms. If the problem is subtraction, first distribute the negative, drop the parentheses, and then add. So, is this an addition or a subtraction problem? And I know that because it's between here, right? And that tells me that it's addition. So, is there anything to add the 3a squared with over here? No. So I get 3a squared. Can I combine 3ab with something? The 4ab, and that gives me 7ab. And then minus 1b squared plus 6b squared gives me 5b squared. So for the next one, I want to distribute the negative. So I get 5y squared plus 7y plus 8. And then you have a negative, so we're going to distribute it to all three. So I get minus 2y squared plus 4y and then minus 3. And all I did is line them up, right? So then I get 3y squared plus 11y plus 5. Okay, so you all distribute and then come up with an answer. So when I distribute the negative, I get minus 2a squared and then minus 12a and plus 15. So then I get 2a squared, and those of you that were off, negative 6a minus 12a is minus 18a, and then 7 plus 15 gave me 22. So most of you that were off on this 18a right there. Okay? So now look at this cute little triangle. The measure of two sides of this cute little triangle are given. And I have the perimeter. So how do I find the third side? If I have two of them, the perimeter tells me all the way around. So how am I going to get this one side? So add these two together and then subtract it from here. So when I add these two together, I get 3x squared plus 6x plus 1. Then I'm going to take this and I have to subtract it from the perimeter. So when I subtract, I have to change all the signs, right? So I'm going to have minus 3x squared minus 6x minus 1. And that gives me x squared minus x plus 4. So we just took this and changed all the signs and subtracted. So back to the front. When we multiply, if I have ab squared times ab squared, a times a is a to the second, right? Because this is a 1 and this is a 1, and you have to add your exponents. So I'm going to get a to the second, b to the fourth. When I multiply here, 10 times a negative 7 gives me negative 70, and then 3 plus 2 gives me b to the fifth. So on this one, can you add in front, put the 2x here? So I want 2x times 4x squared times 3x squared. So to do this, I take 2 times 4 times 3. 2 times 4 times 3. So I get 8 times 3, which is 24. And then I have x to the first, the second, and the second. So how many x's do I have? 5. So I get x to the fifth. So when I multiply here, 3 times 3 gives me 9. I have 2, 1, and 2. So again, I get a to the fifth. But what do I have to remember to put on the end? B. And when I multiply here, I get 10, a to the what? Third, b, and then c. So now when I multiply these binomials, and that's because there's two terms, so that's a binomial times a binomial. So when I do that, I'm going to take x times x, which gives me x squared. X times 3 gives me 3x. Then I'm going to take 2 times x, gives me 2x, and 2 times 3 gives me 6. And then I can combine like terms. So for the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. 2x times x gives me 2x squared. 2x minus 1 gives me minus 2x. Minus 6 times x gives me minus 6x. And then negative 6 times negative 1 gives me plus 6. So when I combine like terms, I get 2x squared minus 8x plus 6. Okay, you guys multiply the last two. For the first one, we got 6x squared. Is it plus 7x and minus 20? And then the second one, we got x squared plus 4x minus 45. Yes? Okay. So on number 5, does anything change here? Because now what am I multiplying by? I'm multiplying the 3x times all three things. So I'm going to get 3x to the third minus 6. And what do I get here? What's the exponent on the x? 2, and then the y, and then plus 12xz. Y'all, how do I do number 6? It's just a pain, right? It's not hard, it's just more writing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by ignoring the third one. And I'm just going to multiply the first two together. So when I do that, I'm going to get 2x squared and when I combine, I still have to multiply by x plus 7. So when I take the 2x squared times the x, what do I get? What's the exponent on the x? 3. And then plus 14x squared minus 4x squared minus 28x minus 30x minus 210. Where? This one? So 2x times x gave me the 2x to the third, right? But 2x times the 7 is 14x squared. And then I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to put this one and this one together. And then I'm going to put this one and this one together. So problem number 7 says the edge of a cube is 3x minus 10. Find the volume of the cube. So how do I find volume? That's right. But if the length times the width times the height are all the same, I'm going to take 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2. Length, width, height. And I'm going to start by just multiplying the first two together. Edwin. Multiply. 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared. But I still have 3x minus 2 to multiply by. And once you multiply, combine like terms. Is this 54? 18 minus 18 minus 36. I think it's minus 54. So if I have the area, which is this one, and this is the height, everybody multiply. Michael, you have this multiplied together?